Let me welcome you to the Smokebox. Windows up, couple in rotation. Hot boxed out about 3 or 4 faces.
She hung like a champion, I gotta tell you. And that impressed the fuck out of me because, most of the time when people get in here, we smoke regular sized joints and some people want to get right the fuck out.
Right.
And she came in with big, gigantic fucking joints, and that impressed the fuck out of me right there. But the shit that tripped me out, and I tell people this story, because people ask me who's the craziest person, well, not craziest, but what's the name that surprised you the most that you've ever smoked with? And I always hands down say Bruce Willis, because that threw me the fuck off. I was at a club out here called the Troubadour, the Troubadour.
Yeah.
And they used to have a club right above it. I can't remember what they called it, the lounge or some bullshit like that. And me and my homies would go smoke heavy in this club.
What year was this?
This was probably early 2000s something, when Mark Wahlberg was really blowing up in the movies.
Right.
He was right there, and
Right.
he started hanging with Clooney and these guys, right? Because Mark was a friend of mine in the hip hop days, right, when he was doing the music and shit. And I hadn't seen him in a long time, and we were blowing trees in this club heavy. We go to a club, we don't give a fuck. We're
Right.
blowing just like we do now. And he smelled us, then saw me, and he came over. He goes, "Hey, B, what's happening?" We greet each other, and he goes, "Hey, you mind if one of my boys takes a hit?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I see that he's with the Superstar boys, but none of them were walking over. So I'm like, all right, well, who's coming over? And Bruce Willis walks
That's
over.
dope.
And the ceilings to the top floor of this club were about this high, like the way we are now, that you could just reach to the top. And there was a light shining right above him. And he unscrewed the fucking light so it wasn't shining in his
crazy.
face while he was smoking the doob with us.
That's crazy.
That was the craziest shit for me, as a smoker.
That's a good one.
Word up, man. Now it's becoming normal. I mean, since we
crazy.
started doing the smoke box, it's crazy how people that I wouldn't have thought would come in here. Like Melissa Etheridge was in here.
She came in here?
She came in
That's
here.
dope.
Told her story how cannabis helped her through her I think she was dealing with cancer. And or something like that. And again, the doctor's trying to prescribe her over-the-counter medicine, and she, David Cosby, Cosby Stills and Nash, tells her, go get CBDs, go smoke cannabis, fuck all that
And
shit.
that helped her?
And that helped her beat it, and she came and told her story first.
That's dope.
So that was the awesome shit.
Yo, what was the last record that got you, where you were hyped? The hype lived past, the download. What was the last record you bought that got you that you were like?
That's a good fucking question, man. I don't, I can't even remember.
Damn.
Shit. I gotta say though, Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole shit they're very tight.
Yeah,
I like
good,
them.
they're good.
So I fuck with them.
I fuck with them.
I go buy their shit. But there's another motherfucker that I fuck with all the time, ASAP Ferg.
Yeah. He's
love
dope.
His shit.
That's dope.
Of the cats now, they're I like Schoolboy Q. He's dope. There's a lot of them I fuck with, man. But those are the guys that pop into my head that I, instantly, every time they put shit out, I'll fuck with it because, they're always pushing the envelope, right? Like Ferg, he's a stylist and he says some crazy shit. But that's like how Busta Rhyme was, but in a different way. He was always flipping a new style, Busta. He never stood the same. He was always evolving in terms of
Busta
style.
Rhymes should be on most people's top 5. He gets overlooked. He's stupid.
He's always been one of my favorite rappers ever.
He's sick, right?
Top 5 for me.
The flows and the styles and the evolution.
Crazy.
That shit he did with Eminem last year. Did you hear what it was called?
Yeah.
Jump.
Yeah. Hey, he's one of the sickest because he can adapt his style to fucking anything.
He's sick.
He kind of taught me, how to do that indirectly just by me being, I was a good friend. We were good friends for a time. We still are. We just don't see each other as
Right.
much as we used to. But like I would always like trip off that because, you know, like he told me one time, you know, as an artist to artist, he goes, "Yo, B, son, you got to keep evolving all the time. You got to, you know, stay ahead of the game, B. You know, just always ahead of the game, doing new shit." And I was like, all right. And you know, I kind of like, I heard what he was saying, but
That's dope.
I stood in a pocket for a time, you know, because with Cypress Hill, we were very much a certain sound.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, you know, sometimes you're afraid to fuck with that sound, but I
Right.
saw what he was doing, just constantly flipping it. And so when, you know, I started doing some of my own shit and just like maybe features, I
Right.
thought about it in terms of how he told me you got to just constantly evolve and do something different and bring something new, because, you know, you do some shit the same too long, it gets stagnant.
Right.
And that's sort of the similar shit that ASAP Ferg does. When he comes out, it's always something new, something crazy.
Right.
You know, and,
Right.
and he that, you know, in that way he reminds me of Bus. And with
I had all this shit on my shirt for like the last 10 minutes.
that's what happens when you smoke in the box.
I had that sucker shit.
And with J. Cole and Kendrick, not only are they dope ass rappers in terms of style and technique, but they're saying something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With their platform, and I respect the fuck
I
out of
do
that.
too.
So I fucks with that, but there's a lot of other mindless shit out there for sure, and it's all cookie cutter.
It's some real fucking bullshit, man. You know, on the way down here, I was going through like some of my Cypress shit, and I'm listening to the sounds, listening to your voices, and listening to the different songs, and I'm like, that shit is like, is this gonna be like the fucking, like listening to like the Rolling Stones in 20 years? Like, there's gonna have to be classic rap station? Like, for me,
There is. There's,
I know that, but yo, I'm so upset as a fan, as a fan about the music on where it's going, because listen, motherfuckers, it changes, it evolves. I know it's not all New York, but like there's got to be some balance.
Well, think about it like this, right? I look at it like everything has to evolve and torches have to be passed. Doesn't mean you have to go away. It just, you know, it's the order of things. For instance, right, in this documentary Hip Hop Evolution, it tells the story of what was happening before Run DMC, right? And what was happening before Run DMC, it was like Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, and, you know,
Treacherous 3.
and Treacherous 3 and groups like that. Before them, it was the disco
Right.
shit, right?
Right.
And you know what guys that came in the second generation, not necessarily the disco shit, because they were all about the suits and tuxedos and shit like that. Whereas the second generation, like Grandmaster Flash and Kaz and all of them, they were like trying to be more like Rick James and
Funk shit.
funk and trying to look like superstars, right? When Run DMC and them came out,
Right.
they went back to a hoodish look,
Right.
that nobody else had seen outside of Queens or New York or any of that shit. You know, that was a look that was straight up East Coast New York.
Yes.
With the way they were dressing. And even Kaz had said it in an interview. He said, you know, we were trying to look like Rick James. We were trying to look like superstars. You know, they came with the look that, you know, that was our look before we went on stage.
Right.
You know, this was our kick it look. They, you know, they made that their look. It's
Right.
like they weren't doing nothing new. So they were kind of like hating on Run DMC for bringing the hood look and dumbing it, because they felt they were dumbing it down.
At that time, they were hating on you, saying.
Yeah, at that time they were hating on Run
I get
DMC
it.
because they felt like Run DMC was dumbing it down. Like, you know, they even had this part with Melly Mel, and he was like, man, what y'all doing? We looking like superstars and y'all going backwards. Y'all fucking this up.
Right.
And no one knew that Run DMC would be the ones to break the fucking shit right open for the rest of us. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where we are now. You know, some of us look at the youngsters like, the fuck y'all doing? Y'all are taking this backwards and shit. Yet, you know, these motherfuckers are having that kind of success and
Huge
like
success.
breaking the doors open for the ones coming behind.
I think
them.
it's dope. I think that's dope, and I think the success is dope. I just get concerned about the music.
Yeah, some of the music is reckless.
I get concerned
for sure.
about the artistry. Like, Where's the large professors? Where's, you know, the Pete Rocks? Where's the Rick Rubins? Where's the Q-Tips? The Premiers? You know, like where's the, like, that craftsmanship? You know, one of the interesting things about the Straight Outta Compton movie, the first frame you see when you see young Dr. Dre, he's laying in a pile of records.
Right.
With the headphones on, listening to, I think, Frankie Beverly or some shit.
Right.
And it's like, that's what started all this shit. The love of music.
Yeah. Now
Right?
Now it's the love of fame and money.
Right. But the first thing you see in Straight Outta Compton, there's a reason why that first image is the young Dr. Dre with the records around him. That's what the fuck he did. If it was a movie about Michael Jordan, the first frame would be him dribbling a basketball.
Right.
Because you go, he always loved that. You'd see, same thing. And that's the thing to me that concerns me. It's like, you can't have no funky rhymes, just a cappella. You need the beats.
You know, motherfuckers love...
Fucking drives me crazy.
Well, that's the whole thing, is that people love the money and the fame more than they love the music now. The people that actually do it. Some actually still love the music first, but you know, one of the key motivations is when you see all your idols just blinging out, fucking, you know, living like, you know, just decadent.
And that's great. I want everybody to make billions.
Everybody wants, you know, all these kids want to, you know, do that. So, you know, you just have... It's like a recycling the same shit over and over. But, you know, music goes in cycles, man. You know, this time is what this music is. At some point, it'll change. What are you doing these days, man? What are you fucking with right now?
I'm listening to, working. What do you mean?
Yeah. What are you listening to right now?
I'm always listening to old jazz. I'm always listening to old soul. I'm always listening to platinum era. I don't say golden era. I say platinum era.
More respect for it.
And I'm not talking about the 90s. I'm starting in 79.
Yeah.
That shit. That's what I listen to. You know, I listen to my rock. I listen to my blues. And I listen to... My wife likes more poppy music.
Yeah.
So she's got her playlist. So
Pop is upbeat. You know, it makes people feel happy.
Right. She's always like, you listen to this dark, fucking miserable. Like, why do you want to keep listening to Lenny Williams and Bobby Womack? Like, I like that painful shit.
Yeah, we're artists.
Yeah.
Artists always have some sort of pain in their life that, you know, you got to relate to through music, art, whatever. You know what I mean?
Do you like your music to bring you up, bring you down, bring you to the middle? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause when you listen to music, if you're,
I don't dig happy music too much. I like it's either in the middle or dark. Happy music is a little too light for me.
Yo, I know this is your show, but I have to ask you to take me down a trip. I'm going to ask you to take me a trip right now. I hope you've never done this. I want you to walk me through Kill a Man.
Let me welcome you to the Smokebox. Windows up, couple in rotation. I boxed out about 3 or 4 faces.